Hi there, lovelies. So I'm going to do a little sort of woodland scene, if you like, very small. Now, I'm hoping that my students, my beginner students, can follow along with me on this one, hopefully anyway. So let's make sure that we're in view for a start. Yes, that's okay. Right. Now, this is going to be quite a small painting. I'm painting acrylic on card, and I've cut the card to the size of my frame and my mat. Okay, so I've put some little marks here where I know I've got to not go inside that. Right, let's start. I'm using ultramarine blue and white, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, black, and lemon yellow. That's all I'm using. It's going to be a limited palette. I'm going to make my greens. Okay, I'm going to mix my greens with the yellow and the yellow ochre. Right, so the first thing I want to do, now we're building up layers. So the first thing I want to do is, I've got a palette here that I'm going to use as well. Same colours. Oh, no, I don't. Oh dear, I don't want that. Okay, start again. That palette was a bit too messy. Yeah, there we go. Now I want a really, let's get some of that on the go. I want a beautiful blue, pale blue, beautiful blue, ultramarine and white. Like this, I'm going to go in here like this. Okay, just in the middle there, like that. Okay, we'll go over that in a minute. Right, really like that. Okay, now I'm going to make a green, and I'm going to make it with the lemon yellow at the moment. A nice green. Lemon yellow. That's not a bad green. Lemon yellow. Right, now it's got to be fairly pale, so let's do this. Now this is the first coat, of course. Go off the card because you want to make sure it's I want to make sure that it's going to cover the card. Nothing worse than finding out that you're short by a little tiny bit and the doesn't fit the mount. But anyway, not to worry. So this is what I'm doing here. You might as well, you could bring it down, because this is just like layers, you see. You need layers. Right. I've got a mixture of green and blue on my brush. Right. Now, I like that bit of blue there, that's nice. Right. Now down here, the oops. Let's do a bit more of the yellowy green in here, like this, and a bit of black as well. There. Right, this is obviously going to be the foreground. Right. Nice, very nice. You can always go over it. There's a bit too much black in there, but it doesn't matter. Now at the back there, I'm going to make a lighter green with probably with the lemon yellow for a lighter green, just in that one little area like that, and on a slope to suggest a slope. Okay, put a few more bits and bobs. Let's get some darks. Just do this. Let's get some of that lovely rich brown. It's like a chestnut colour, isn't it? So let's get some of that. Okay, rough it up a bit like this. Okay, gorgeousness. Right, put a bit of that there. There. It's nice. I might make that more green. Pale green. Now, let's have a look. Yeah, pale green. Put a bit of that lemon yellow in there. Right, that's that. Okay. So far. Oops. Like this. Okay. So I've just put some darks, a little bit more chocolatey type brown into the foreground, and I'm just putting some lights into the sky, and just using a little bit of cream and my fingers. I'm putting it on with a brush and just lightly, and then I'm spreading it around with my fingers. So I want to create some lights, because when I put the trees in this painting, I want some lights to shine through branches. So I'm just adding some more various colours. I'm trying to vary that foreground with some browns and some greens and some, maybe a little bit of cream as well. So I start to add the trees to the painting now, and I've mixed a really dark brown with a black until I like the shade of brown that I've got. And I like to do the trees upside down. I start them with the trunk and then I turn them upside down. And I'm just adding a few details to the bottom of the trees so that it looks as if they're, growing, there's some roots growing into the foreground. So it's quite important that you get the right shape for the trees. Now this is a sort of winter scene, so it's not going to be leaves on the trees and all that. It's just going to be some very bare trees. But like I said, it's important that you get the right colour before you even start. And I usually put in the trunks, all the trunks of the trees, and then I do the branches. That's what I usually do. And do it so that it's like, don't do it so the trees are all straight. I like to make the trees sort of a little bit curved, not curved, but so that they're not straight up like they would be in nature. It looks much better if you do that, like this tree that I'm doing here. You see how it's transforming the painting now that you're adding some trees to that background that you created. And if you put 3 trees on one side, just put 2 trees on the other side, you know, of whatever. If you put 5 trees on the one side, put 4 or 3 on the other side. And at the base of the painting, you'll see that I'm putting some marks to indicate like the trees are, you know, they're not just coming straight out of the ground. They've got some roots and they've got some debris and different things. So I'm just probably going to put two trees on this side, on the right side. We'll see. Let's see what happens. And as I might have said before, don't try and do them straight. The trees are not straight. Jiggle about with your paintbrush a little bit to make them a little bit, not too much, but you know, they're not straight. They're not straight lines at all. You look at nature and you'll see that there's no straight lines. Very few straight lines in nature. And making these trees cross over, which they would do in nature. So I'm starting to put in the branches, and this is a winter scene. So I'm just going to put, and it's a small painting as well. So I'm just going to put a few branches. I'm not going to overdo it. Just make sure that when you start your branch, it's thicker than when you finish a branch. You know what I mean? And just make sure that they're quite thin and quite wispy and not straight. That is the main thing with the branches. The branches are quite not straight. Let's put it that way. Okay, so you'll see what I'm doing here. The bases of the branches are thicker than the ends of the branches. If you can aim for that. I think it's quite important that you get your colour right for the trees. It's quite important that you get a nice rich dark brown. So I got a little mark on the painting, and instead of getting rid of it, I decided to add another tree, a very, very thin tree. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, it'd be lovely if you would like, share and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. The channel can be supported by pressing the thanks button. And with that, I'll say bye for now, and as always, love from the land of mist and legend. See you next time.